Yo, what's happening, Banter fam? How are you doing today? I see we're getting some redness. I see we're getting a little bit of a candle on the small time frames. We will see what that means on the higher time frames, but we are starting to get a crazy bit of volatility in the market. Lots of red at the moment. And if you have a look again, it's quite crazy to see Bitcoin on the Wall Street cheat sheets, the emotions of where we are right now. And it's quite crazy, guys. It's quite crazy. You know, we had this pump come out of nowhere, and I would officially say that December I was angry. I don't know about you guys. Let me know if you were angry. December I was angry when Bitcoin wasn't doing anything and the market was just dead all the time. I was hitting an anger phase, and then all of a sudden, boom. And I think the big question was, you know, is this that relief? And then depression comes afterwards. You know, we look again at the simple Wall Street cheat sheet. Is this the wave over here? And if so, we have Bitcoin that is nearly there, because what it basically shows us is this area hits basically the previous high. And if we look at Bitcoin right now, the previous high was basically the 24,000, an area that we hit already. The only big thing that I had was dominance was skyrocketed to the upside, and the total 3 is still down here. And end of the day, what would convince Bitcoin to finally give us some of that dominance and let the altcoins rally up? And that would be a shakeout. And I've been consistent about this shakeout for a while now, protecting you guys on the way up, because it was getting to the point now where it's just getting dangerous. And FOMOing at these areas can get you really hurt. So I'm going to go through the market cycle quick, a quick update on that. Then we're going to get a quick push on Bitcoin. What are we expecting? What does this wick mean right now? We have some news coming out in the US this week. So what are we expecting from the stock markets? And then let's go through all the altcoin entries and the next major trades. No more wasting time. James, it is a Monday. It is a red day, but the year has started off strong. So what I need you to do is put your heart and soul into pushing that button. Let's get into the show.
Click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗏 all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, what's happening? How are we doing out there? Pop in the comments. How are we feeling? What's happening? Have you been FOMOing? Have you been impatient? What's happening out there at the moment? What are we thinking? Is this the start of the pullback? Please put in the comments. I would love to know your guys' thoughts. If you are brand new to the channel, smash the subscribe button. Part of the family, smash the like button on this stream, guys. Smash the like button. Remember, we are giving away 2 Rolexes, 2 beautiful Rolexes. This one over here is for the Bitget 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗏, I think is what they're called. I'm not a Rolex man. I've never been able to afford one previously. I might buy one these days, but it is nice to hold them. This one is up for grabs, and we have the blue and gold, which is for ByBit. If you sign up with any of the exchange links below, you'll see a ByBit Rolex and you'll see a Bitget Rolex link. It's just an exchange link. You open the exchange and you take some trades there. It qualifies you for winning these Rolexes. And then we have OKX and Binance. And if you sign up with any of these guys, it gets you into our Discord. Now, Discord is phenomenal. If you go into Discord, go under Sheldon the Sniper section. The guys are currently on updating a lot of the charts now, reason why I'm not logged into it at the moment. But you'll find the show charts where I have all my charts from the show. You can see them if you don't see them clearly on the show. Then we have the live trading section. I started last week. It's going to be private. So it means it's not going to be on YouTube. It's there for you guys. You can only find the links over there. And then what you have is all the trades as well, all the tokens. So you'll find the sniper trade section as well, helping you with all the charts and all of that and keeping you up to date. How are we feeling? We're ready for the show. Smash that like button. Okay. And just remember, guys, if you do go to my Twitter, you'll basically follow me on Twitter. I want to see why this is no longer here. But what you're going to see on the top over here is you're going to see a newsletter. Subscribe to our newsletter. We send newsletters out every single day. So I'll make sure why it's not showing on the computer. It does show on my phone. But please make sure you're a part of that too. Cool. Let's jump in and let's have a look what is happening out there. What are we thinking, guys? Fake outs, 13K in Feb. Woo! Woo! The bears are out. They still, I think the bears are angry. I've been quite bearish myself on the short time frame, you know, waiting for the altcoins to do their thing. I feel this was a Bitcoin pump. I feel it was a trap for altcoins. I still think the altcoin pump, and that's why I've been trying to protect you guys. Protect, because the day you make a mistake, you can get hurt really quickly. The market can turn against you very fast. You can see how quickly the market starts to pull back. And you've got to be very careful throughout these times. But we're still on an incredible point of where it comes to the higher time frames. So quickly on this again, guys, the market cycle is something like this. A bear market, a sideways. We first have a capitulation. We have anger. Then a push up, give it a little bit of that hope, you know, that belief. And then what they do is they go into this long depression sideways phase. Now, let's think about it, guys. The market's never going to do the exact same thing. It's done these things many times, but we do need to be aware that markets, like emotion-wise, this could be a possibility that comes next. And it's something that we just got to be aware of throughout the time. Make sure we're protecting ourselves when it comes to these. So market cycle-wise, it's saying this is what's got to come next. Now, the only thing that invalidates that for us is us getting through these levels, is getting through and making sure that we are not doing exactly what the market cycle is showing. And as it still stands, what we have is Bitcoin, yes, making a run from 16K all the way to 23 to 24,000. Well done, Bitcoin. You've done incredible over the last few days when no one expected it, but we are still in danger zone right now. And the next low is going to determine if the market cheat sheet is right. And what that means is where the pullback actually goes to. So right now, guys, we are at that level. We have been here. We were here in August. We were here in August last year when we thought we're going to have that run to 30K, which I still think we do hit this year. But I think right now we are approaching to that level very fast. The problem is over here, there's no pullbacks. It's just a direct line. And ultimately just getting everyone really FOMOing, saying this pullback's not coming. You know, let me get in. And what usually happens with things like this doesn't mean it's definitely a bullish move on the high time frame, but they do like to trap and send these wicks in very quickly and end up getting you destroyed very fast. So what we're seeing at the moment is there's huge resistance sitting between the 24,000 and 24,500. I'll be quite surprised if we shoot through this very easily, because we did shoot through the important one of 18,000. Then we had the important one of 21,000. And then at 22,500, we've managed to shoot through those. But I don't know about you guys. Right now, I'm seeing smaller legs. This was a huge leg, smallish leg, a little bit smaller leg. Like, it does look like it's slowly tapering off. But what we do have here, and the significance of this, is after the 24,000, we do have 28,000. And there's that huge gap. So the day if we do break through this level strongly, I do see an extreme amount of short squeezes that can take us to the higher levels. I do, however, think that there is a slight pullback that happens before that. Now, let's quickly just jump into what we want to see and why we've been patient with these buys as well. Now, if we come down to the altcoins, it played out the market cycle beautifully. It all makes sense to what we've seen. And what we are seeing here is this is nowhere near here. You know, this is the higher level over here, and this is still 30% above. So this was clearly a Bitcoin and Ethereum pump, not even a full Ethereum pump just yet, very much a Bitcoin pump. And what we're waiting for is this true pump over here to make its way to the higher levels. And then after that, possibly depression. We shall see. But this is the leg we want to really make the money on and capture it on this next sort of pullback. And we're waiting to see this bad boy, which is this one over here, slow down. See this dominance, and I see it's looking at wanting to make another leg to the upside. So it's quite crazy. This might be a, you know, if I have to put it into context, every time the dominance spikes up like this and Bitcoin has a pullback, it means Bitcoin's still not done with the pump. It's quite crazy actually, because, you know, we're still waiting for the full reset. And right now we are getting the altcoins hurt quite a bit on this pullback. We can see how quickly they're starting to accelerate down. But the dominance for me still has two major levels. If it does break through here, it will be pretty crazy because it will make its way to the higher levels of 46 cents. So it's still showing Bitcoin time for a while. But what I'm still expecting is when Bitcoin drops a key level, and let's actually go to Bitcoin and start talking about where Bitcoin is right now. Bitcoin, when it drops, let's say this trend, and it does start to make some decent pullback or some real levels break into the downside. This rally is mature, very mature. It's like 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗫𝗬's mom. Agreed. But when Bitcoin for now, right now is pulling back, dominance going up. But when Bitcoin breaks a key level, like let's say the 22.8 and starts to really get down to these levels, I do think that this is the moment where we see the shift in the dominance, and the dominance will start to make its way down. And on the next bounce and the next push up from the market is where that dominance will completely fall down, and we'll have the altcoin catch up. Because what was still very interesting about this market cheat sheet here was Bitcoin makes this high, and then what it does is it has this quick wick out over here. I'm not saying it's doing exactly like this, but it makes sense, because why would anyone go from Bitcoin into altcoins right now if Bitcoin's the king and it's clearly sucking all the liquidity, it's clearly holding better, it's clearly doing everything, it's making gains on the way up, and it's holding better on the dumps? Is that shakeout? And if you have a catalyst that turns, and that's what made sense here, that if I looked at this, it has this wick down here, and then it has one more push up. And for me, this wick down is what changes the dominance, and this little push up, Bitcoin doesn't make a higher high, but that little leg over there is what sends the altcoins, to the higher levels, and truly have that total 3 push to the upside, which does make a lot of sense. So if I have a look here right now, the way we're simply charting Bitcoin is we have the 2 levels to the upside still. The first level is if Bitcoin manages to break this high of 24, we have 25K next. After that, we have 28,000. So we have the 2 major levels to the upside. Now, if we break this trend, I'm still sticking to the same strategy. If we decide to break this wedge to the downside, this is forming a bearish pattern. It is slowing down. I'm expecting 2 major levels to the downside. The first one is a gentle one. It's one that just flips the dominance. And this is the one that goes from down here pretty fast to the areas of the 21.5. And then we start to settle and make our way to this area. This, for me, makes sense for us to have that altcoin rally, to have that dominance come down and have that altcoin catch up to get us to those major levels. Then we have the bad scenario. And the bad scenario is they've pulled one of the biggest bull traps out there, something that really causes damage. And Bitcoin actually ends up coming down to the original trend that it broke out and it never tested. It comes down to these levels, which is the 18K. Now, something bad has to happen in order for that to happen, but we do need to prep ourselves that that could be something. Because if you look at this wave over here, and even if you take a Fibonacci tool, it's not unhealthy for it to come back down to the 19,000. And if we look again at the major indicator that's there, is we have the 200-day moving average still sitting around the $19,600 level, which is very interesting to see. So there is still some sort of support to happen there. So what that basically means for us, guys, is this pullback is still going to happen soon. This could be the start of it, and it's going to be violent. It's going to be one that's going to hurt. It's going to be probably a huge, I got so many altcoins to show you guys on where these levels actually go to, but it's going to be pretty violent. And the way we want to see this, because think about it, the market's just been rallying up and rallying up and rallying up. And at some point, I'm telling you, people are buying this dip right now. Many people are buying this dip. Many. And they're going to keep buying all these dips, which is fine until we have that one shakeout. And when we have that true shakeout, we want to see that fastness. We want to see that sidewaysness. We want to track that. And then we want to catch that out. So what I'm trying to say to you is be careful with just buying the dip. When the dip happens now, be careful. Don't just buy. Because it can get worse. It can keep going. This could have been a huge bull trap. I still think, high time frame, I still think we go to 30K this year. I do. I just feel that we went too fast now, and they're going to wick everyone out pretty violently. And then after that, it may even be bigger than what they expect. Because what does everyone expect right now? What do you guys expect right now? You guys are expecting it to go to 19K and then go to 30, right? Everyone's expecting that. Like, they may send it further down than what we expect. So be patient. It's fine with the dollar costing, but be very aware that it could go more down than what you actually expect. And it doesn't mean it stays there. If Bitcoin wants to be really smart and destroy the market right now, this is what it would do. It would go here, and it would actually start making its way up again now. And then what it will do is it will send this wick down, and it will send it incredibly bad, and then suck up here, this, and then continue. that will absolutely destroy. So what I mean by if it does go to 19.5, it can be extremely fast, wick down to those areas, load up fast, go sideways, and then continue to the way up, which would make sense to me. Get people really scared in that area and completely liquidate many different people. So for me, this wedge over here, when we break, I'm still sticking to the same method of is I see this making its way to the downside. And from the downside, we have the two major areas. We have the first gentle one, which is the 21,500, and we have the more destroying one, which is between 18.5 and the 19.6. Now, what does this mean for altcoins? Firstly, dominance spiking, slowing ETH down right now. Definitely slowing Ethereum down as it speaks. Ethereum is still on the higher time frame, testing this long-term wedge. So it hasn't broken any supports or really going to lower levels or anything like that just yet. So Ethereum's still in a okay place at the moment. We'll keep track of it. But if we look at it now and the chart, is it as it is forming this flag. And the same thing for me over here now. Is this and a loss of momentum will send it down. Now, I don't have crazy lower levels for the altcoins because for me, this dominance is going to turn at some point. And I think there's going to be more damage done to Bitcoin than the altcoins. But for me, if I look at where Ethereum is right now, the expectations of what I'm thinking it's going to move, like I said, it's going to be fast, sideways. There's time. There's time for us to make the decision of where that bottom is. But I'm expecting around about a 13 to 15% pullback from Ethereum at that level. Now, the important one, the big one. Remember Solana? I've been speaking about Solana, and I'm like, the short. And it's been playing. And it did end up topping around 26.40. Okay. This support right now, the next support's around 17, and there's one more at 13. But if you have a look here, we are finally starting to lose this trend over here. Now, this is a long trend. This isn't a short one. This is one that's been coming, since the bottom of $8. And we've never retraced since we've had this wave. Now, I still think that there's a $30, maybe, possibly we break into the higher ranges of Solana later. But I still think it is way too expensive to be buying right now. But I think it's one to be buying on the next strong pullback. But this is one that I think gets quite violent. This is one that I see going to test my first support at this area. And if you have to have a look over here, it's 28% down just from my first support. So, guys, there is always, there's a chance later on where you can maybe break this and get in. If you're a Solana holder right now, just put yourself into a smart position to understand that Solana fell from $200 all the way to $8. It's not going to just go to $50 straight away. It's probably going to take a year for it to range in these areas, and then we'll get back anywhere to those high levels. So if you're a Solana holder and you've just made some gains back, or you maybe bought the dip or things like that, just be aware that there's still a big pullback coming from Solana again, and you never know. If the market goes into depression, Solana may go to $8 again. It may be. But for me, the better buys are down to these areas. For shorters, for guys that are looking at trading, take your time with it. The market's quite violent, so don't be afraid to dollar cost in these areas. But if we close below here in 44 minutes, it's looking pretty good for Solana. Just keep that stop loss tight and keep moving it down in case the market pops at any point like that. But this is going to be a really big one, and it's a position that I'm filling right now. So Solana is a big trade for me. I've been excited for that one. And then we look at ones like DOT. There we go. DOT losing its steam right now. Remember, it's come from a far away. I'm just looking at a pullback from this long leg up. And right now, losing trend, losing support trend right now. And my next support's around $5.40. So if you want to see what my basic pullback level, 15% from DOT. And DOT's one that I want to be loading up definitely on the next one because it broke beautiful long-term trends. ThorChain, close. Now this one, the trend line, you can basically say, a little bit dodgy this trend because we've got many different trends over here in these areas. But what I'm saying is for RUNE is 1.5 is still, a 20% pullback from RUNE. I still think that RUNE, I don't think the altcoin pump is done at all. Like I said, I don't even think it's even started just yet. But for me, the next push for RUNE gets me to around $2.5 to $3. So I'm paying attention on this pullback. And if I can get a 1.5 to a $3, for me, that's a huge 100% trade. That's a big one for me on ThorChain. The next one that woke up pretty quickly, and I don't think the pullback's going to be too violent. I don't think it's done, is MATIC. So MATIC's ripped up really well. And if I look at the chart-wise, it's still very far from momentum. And the nearest support's the dollar. So think about it with MATIC now. MATIC's been fighting that dollar. Look how it's been fighting. It finally cracked it. And I think for those that are pushing MATIC up, I think they're going to want to protect the dollar range for now. Now, on the next push, in a few weeks or something like that, I do think it will be time to sell MATIC. I definitely think it'll be time to take some profits, because we do have the next levels of 1.3, and we got the next higher levels of possibly 1.6, which makes sense. But for me, MATIC's looking really strong right now, and it is one that I'm accumulating when we get to the areas. And that's the dollar, the area where we were trying to break for so long. We finally broke it, and now that becomes the new base. And because it's got such a good support trend line, that's where my stop losses will trail with it. But I think MATIC's going to be a strong mover. It's looking really good as we speak. Let's speak about Cardano. Big one. So this trend line I like very much, because it hasn't closed below this, and it's been respected so many times. And now we're on it right now as it speaks. And if we do close and we decide, it might be starting the pullback. And the pullback for me is, I think Cardano woke up. It broke higher timeframes. Amazing. I'm still waiting for my 60 to 65 cents, which I think will be the sort of temporary top before we go down to maybe even lower levels after this. But for me, my entry is around 30 to 32 cents for Cardano. So this is a nice one that I'm looking at. And this could be, think about shorts, guys. Take your time with shorts and these sort of things. Don't put crazy in the markets, explosive all over the place. But these can be some really good trades for you. If you only know how to trade one way, you're probably only getting your buys by the end of this week. But if you know how to trade both, you can make some money to the downside too, which is really good. But Cardano, I think, makes some really strong pushes on the next push up. So it is one that I'm paying attention to. Same with THETA. THETA is looking strong, looking good. I got a support at 97. I'm not 100% confident about the support though. There is a region of it going back to 85 cents. So we'll take time with buying THETA, but we definitely want it for the next push, because the higher targets look really good. Then we have Sandbox. So guys, what I want you to do before I jump back into the charts, on this pullback now, I would say it like this. I would possibly look at accumulating maximum of 2 AI tokens, maximum 2 gaming tokens, some DeFi, some smart contract. I would just make sure that you're buying, and I want you to ignore all the noise. Choose. Is it MATIC? Is it BNB? What are the ones that you're loading up there? With the gaming, what are you loading up for gaming? I still think Sandbox and Decentraland, because they got smashed so much, they still survive this bear market at the moment. And I still think for them, chart-wise, if I show you higher time frame now on Sandbox, still got an incredibly long, giant journey here that could seriously make you great gains if you get a really, really, really good entry. And for me, it did well, but it is rejecting at the 200-day moving average. And for me, I do think the pullback is starting very soon. We might even be engulfing today, which can start that pullback. And I want it between 50 and 55 cents. And after that, I'm looking at it make its way to around $1 to $1.16, maybe even the higher ranges. So pay attention to what you're buying and what category you're buying. I'll definitely get some AI cheaper. I think it exploded too soon, bunch of crap at the moment. But you can get some AI tokens and some gaming as well. Gaming is where you make the money, but you have to take profits. You need to know exactly whatever you buy in the next week now, you need to know exactly where you're taking profits. Make sure. Then we got Fantom. Oh, even before Fantom. Guys, pop in the comments here. Who got Nakamoto? Who got this? I called it in, when did we get it? November, we bought it. We bought it at 5 cents. Who got Nakamoto games? You've 6x'd your money. You've 6x'd your money. Nice. So Nakamoto, for me, we were buying in this area over here. I still think it will get a lot cheaper, but it hit the core resistance over here, and we have one more that's still at 60 cents. And if it does go there, we've hit the 12x, guys. So I won't buy this right now. I'd only buy it around 10 cents, like I said previously. But for those who are holding, I'm holding. I'm personally holding. I'm selling around 60 cents, which will be a 12x for me from when we got our entries. So I'm happy with that. And I gave this the other two guys, PBX and Scallop, I'm dollar costing small amounts of money. These are the big ones. Remember, Nakamoto for me, not a buy right now at all. But for me, $6, was the previous levels of where it got to. I love the project. I think it's good. It is risky as hell. So I am dollar costing very small amounts. But for me, if that entry, if it goes anywhere there, it's 150x for me from the entries. And, I put $12,000 into Nakamoto. So right now it's probably sitting around $70,000. If it goes anywhere to those higher levels, hopefully I get $1 million from it. Like that's my goal with it. So Nakamoto, I'm holding, but well done to all of those that got it. We then have Fantom. So Fantom, also a rocketing coin right now. A lot happening. And for me, small pullbacks and quick pullbacks. The only possible entry I see is possibly 35 cents. I'm not 100% confident we'll get there. It's just really hyped right now. But if you are holding Fantom, it's got one more resistance, guys. After 50 cents, the next one's 65, 75. Like, it can really move from here. So anyone that wants to buy it, we're not buying right now. I'm not buying at all. If it gets to these lower levels, we're buying. But for those who have it, I think you're going to be surprised. I think you're going to make a little bit of cash back if you bought some of the lows, and hopefully reduce some of your losses on the push up. But it does have some key areas back to $1, which could definitely be the case. Then those who got DYDX, you're nearly there, and I'd possibly get ready soon. I gave it to you guys at $1. We're at $2.50, so you should be 100% up for those who got it. I still bought some then as well, which I'm finally recovered. And I'm sure some people as well have finally recovered, so I'm getting those positions out. But you got a maximum another 10-20% and take your profits on DYDX. Chart wise, it doesn't matter how much you love it, it's showing it's in this range, and it's showing it's going to come to the bottom of the range again. So I'm sticking with that for now. Well done on those who made the money. Guys, we've done well. We've done really well. We've just been taking our time with some entries because we need to be careful. The next one is VET, above 200-day moving average. Around 2 cents is my entry. I think this one goes a far way. I think it goes really good as well. So VET, I'm paying attention to on the next pullback. Looks like everything's slowing down. I see Chainlink coming down pretty hard, losing 200-day as it speaks. But if it loses this trend, I think it's coming back down to the early $6, if not the $5 something range again. So the market's cooling down. It's definitely coming, like, it's getting to a point now. Let's actually get the AVAX chart. So the AVAX chart too. I think it's done well. I think it's done incredible. But for me, we are getting to a point now of a serious pullback for AVAX. And it may even get back to $14 on that pullback. Guys, I'm not here to be a bearish guy or anything. I just want us to get really good entries. And for me, the pullbacks, this is where the current support, whatever you say, whatever you think, doesn't matter. The chart for me is showing $14 to $15 again for AVAX, which is big. It's another 25-30% drop from here. I still think it has strong legs. I think it does get back to this higher range. I think all the tokens, I just showed you guys this. I think all the tokens get back to these areas again. And then it's time to completely, I'm even considering getting a huge amount of my long-term out at those areas. But if you look at AVAX, that's here. So $30. So I think the next entry can be a nice big move and a big gainer for you at those areas. Really good. Let's speak about Gala Games. Good. It's been doing really well. It is getting to that point now where still holding trend. So as long as it holds this, it can still keep pushing. The reason why it's sort of slowing down, because it's fighting the huge areas over here, is going to be a lot of resistance in this area. After this, we do have the higher levels of the 9 cents, and things can get big. But I still think if we lose this trend over here, I think Gala Games should be one of your big gaming tokens you want to accumulate on the next one. But if we lose these areas here, I do see us coming to 30 cents, which is a huge drop. And then from that, I'm looking at the 70 cents for now. So you can see I'm not fighting with the upside too much just yet. Aptos looking good, but that's an ugly ass candle. Ugly ass candle. Me personally, I'll TP on APT. I know it's huge right now and things are amazing. I just think there's way too much hype there right now. And I think there's a huge trap coming. It's done really well. Look at it. It's done incredibly well, actually. From $3 all the way to the $20 mark. But now we're starting to get some selling. Look at these wicks, guys. Always pay attention to candles. They're telling you a story. They always tell you a story. And look at this on the higher time frame. Wick, 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 wick. Maybe there's a little fake somewhere, but that is selling. That's big. When everyone that's FOMOing in, or getting sold into some big wallets there. That's my opinion of it. And for me, this comes down. We'll get this a lot cheaper. And the way to track where these things can come down to is you basically want to just look at where was the original momentum line. And that's the original. So if I see this pulling back, it makes sense to back to around $10, if not even to the lower regions. So APT, if you've done well in it, great. Don't buy it. No financial advice, but I will not be buying this right now. But this, pay attention to Wix, guys. They help you a lot. Then we have Render. Whew. Render, come back to life. Looking pretty good. Guys, while we are I got another 2-3 tokens here. Put some tokens in the comments while you're waiting, and I'll see if I can do a few for you guys. And if Solana does lose that trend in the next day or two, we'll do another live private session on Discord. So make sure you're on that. Let's trade together. It's way better when it's a little bit more private and a little bit less down. Render, give it up for Render. Absolutely exploded. Really, really, really good. Let's actually have a look where it ended up on this push. So basically, it shot through that resistance. It's looking fire right now. It's looking really good. We have one more test at the 1.8 and the $2 mark. And that sort of gives us a possible area of where the next push will get. If Bitcoin obviously decides to pull back now, you're probably going to look at Render making its way. Let's get the original trend over here. Probably making its way back to around the 9 cents mark. So basically a 25-30% pullback. And the next leg would be really good. So Render, I wouldn't be selling right now. I think it looks really good, but we're going to look at where we can add on the next pullback. We then have Lido losing steam, guys. Losing steam for now. It does have a really good resistance. If we break that, you can get a nice little bullish push after that. But for now, if we lose this trend over here, it does make its way to the downside. We have two. Not confident about this one, the 1.7, but a possibility. I would like to see it go down sideways and then we catch it from there. But to be honest, I think it goes back down to 1.4. So a pretty big pullback on Lido. Give me your comments, guys. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. Let's go through some of them. So Ape token. I actually like Ape token. Starting to trade it a little bit on the shorter time frames, and I'm starting to enjoy it actually. Ape token. Yeah, so as you can see here, guys, I gave you guys the chart last week on Ape. And if we look here, resistance. Boom! It's in resistance. The buy is only around $4.8 to $5 again. But that for me is an area. There's still a big gap here. That's the next move that I'm expecting at for now. But Ape for me is in sell zone. It's definitely in sell zone. 𝗧𝗏 did a pump, right? I think 𝗧𝗏, yeah, 𝗧𝗏. Let's have a look. Give me your tokens, guys. Give me your tokens. Let's go through some of them. What did 𝗧𝗏 do? Oh, still following the drawing for now. Amazing. So 𝗧𝗏, yeah, red candles forming now, definitely. Same thing, guys. So we have all of the support we haven't really tested previously. And then we have 618. So if I take this up top to bottom, 618, the 𝗧𝗏 for me comes back, you know, it's basically showing a 25% drop. That's the only point that I'm interested in the 𝗧𝗏 chart. Higher time frame, you're not above the 200-day moving average just yet. So if you do have money you can't afford to lose with 𝗧𝗏, maybe TP a little bit, protect yourself until we break through that. You know, then we can focus on higher levels of 5 cents, these sort of things. For now, just be careful on that. Let's look at the next. Guys, where do you get all these tokens from? 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗫. I don't know 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗫. Craig, do you know 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗫? 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗫. Let's speak about 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗫. Let's speak about NEAR. Be very careful what you're buying, guys. I don't know a lot of these tokens. And remember, guys, any of these tokens that I'm giving, I have not done the research on them. So this is just for you guys to help to help you and to show you how I chart them so that you can learn yourself. So 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗫 is good. So 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗫's got support at the 8 to 9 cents mark, which is a 200-day moving average. And as long as it holds that, it's good. So I wouldn't, the only time I'd buy this is around 7 cents. But for now, you know, if you got it, I'd be holding it because it hasn't been above the 200-day moving average for a while. And this could end up being a nice push from 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗫 again to get it back to hopefully the higher levels of 30 cents, anywhere in those sort of areas. So we'll see in the next few days if it does give us an entry, but I wouldn't be selling it if I'm owning it right now. It looks pretty good. PBX, you want to speak about my small cap? Okay, let's go through some small caps here. You want to degen a little bit. A little bit of degenning. So PBX I like. Finally, we're above 200-day moving average. Finally, this coin's going to wake up, guys. I would still dollar cost into this token. I think it does go slightly lower. It can go another 20% down if Bitcoin goes down for the short pullback. But this is why. Look at this token. It's purely in accumulating. Very small, very risky, small part of your portfolio, guys. But this is the one that I'm expecting to make some really good money on. So just back to these levels is a 10x, back to the higher levels, 20x, 30x. So I think this thing it has the capability of doing a 20x over the next year or two. Maybe even slightly higher, but our dollar cost in these areas, PBX looks really nice. I like the project itself. Go do your research on it. And it's above 200-day moving average right now. So this is one of my small caps, guys. It's the only three I'm giving you guys for a long time. PBX, SCLP, Gallop on KuCoin. Not above, so don't expect it to rampage just yet. It's purely in, see this accumulation sideways. So it's dollar costing. A little bit of profits, just dollar cost. It's not above 200-day moving average yet. Why it's not going crazy or anything at the moment. But ideally, if you look at this, at the roadmap, I like to see this. If we just looked at this, see this, boom, sideways, 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 sideways for long. Remember, how long it goes sideways is what creates the result. And this token came down, and look how long it's been accumulating here. But for me, ideally, why I am buying it, I do like the project. I am invested 100%, but the levels are just crazy. You know, it falls under 20, 25x for me on the next leg. And those are the only three small caps that I am doing. We then have NEAR protocol. So let's go through NEAR, USDT. If the market does drop by run show, guys, I'll jump on to see where we're at. Remember, I'm calling the market to come down. We're going to get some good buys, and we're going to have the dominant shift and then the altcoin run. NEAR protocol, good, but at a resistance. TP for me, TP. If you've got any money that's in there that you can't afford to lose, you know, for me, I would be TPing. Reason being is maybe it has one more push. We can have a look. But if you look here, it's looking like Solana, very much like Solana. So if we take this momentum line over here, starting to lose some steam now. I think there's a possibility of going back to around 1.6, 1.8 on NEAR. Those are the only areas that I'm buying at. But it didn't break 200-day moving average to the top. It hasn't made crazy. It's done well, but it hasn't broken anything crazy or anything like that. Mana. Decentraland. Let's just get it on here. There we go. Cool. Decentraland. This is looking good. Waking up. 200-day moving average holding. Let's see if we can get a slightly better entry than where it is now. It looks good, guys. This looks good. This looks really good. Next resistance is up here, which is 35% from here. And then we got the major ones, which is over 100%. So I'm going to keep an eye on Mana. For me, it's breaking gaming, guys. Gaming. So have a fantastic day. I've given you a little bit of a macro scale. Let's give it today. I know we got news coming up. We're still waiting for the Dixie bounce, all these sort of things, but there's going to be tons of trading this week, guys. So get yourself on Discord, be a part of all of it, and let's have a badass week. Have a fantastic day. Much love to you all. I'll see you all at Sniper School tonight. Much love, Banter fam.